Alexandr Romanov and Marcin Tybura. And I think that this one's actually a little bit harder to pick than the last fight. And that's because both of these guys, it's a little bit more. It's that's just a better matchup. Both of these guys have pretty solid hands and pretty solid wrestling. But I think that this undefeated new guy on the scene, Romanov, he just seems to be better in Tybura in both realms, standing and on the ground. I think he's overall much stronger than Marcin Tybura. He's slightly more compact, weighs a little bit less, but his striking is so much more crisp than Tybura. Tybura just kind of throws sometimes and then tries to, tie somebody up against the cage and then try and bring him down. He can also out wrestle Tybura as well, as at least from what I've seen so far. He hasn't fought nearly the same level of competition as Marcin Tybura. Tybura has been fighting the upper echelon of the heavyweights for quite some time. I believe he just fought Volkov last, lost that one by UD. But you look at Romanov and he's really, skill wise, he looks like he's up there, and he's only slightly smaller, maybe like an inch shorter than Tybura, gives up 3 inches in reach. But I think it's going to be a much better fight than the last one around. And when it's a fight like this, where it's probably going to be fireworks.
All right, so I'm not sure if you can hear me or if you guys are still hearing Keith, but hopefully we'll figure out as we roll here. I see Keith is frozen on my screen. Um, I'll pick up where he left off. I think Marcin Tybura is stronger. Or no, sorry. I think Alexander Romanov is the stronger guy. I think he throws a little bit harder. He's more accomplished on the ground. He has submissions on his record here. Up, Keith, you're back. Hey, buddy.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know what just happened. I'm
Oh,
currently with other people here, so I don't know if somebody just jumped on the Wi-Fi and started streaming weird videos or video games or something. But ultimately, I was just, I don't want to interrupt you. Last point I was going to make. It looks like Romanov has the skills to beat Tybura despite not having fought the same competition. And there's going to be fireworks early in this one. I think Romanov has the power, the more accurate striking out of the two, and I think this will end with Romanov. That's, if you couldn't tell, that's who I'm going with in this fight. I'm taking Alexander Romanov. So please continue, Tom. I'm sorry for leaving. Not my fault, and then interrupting.
yeah, no worries. You said a lot of it. The one thing I would push back on you, if at all, for is that I don't think Marcin Tybura has really fought that much better of competition. I mean, certainly a slight step up, versus, so you have King Kong facing, Chase Sherman, Jared Vandera, Juan Espino, Marcelo Rogero de Lima, and Roque Martinez. So, not the best level of competition for a guy coming in at 16-0, but sometimes the UFC does that. They give you some lighter guys in order to not lose their potential star. But you look at Tybura's 5 on in. Yeah, he has a unanimous decision loss to Alexander Volkov. But before that, he's got Walt Harris, who's no longer in the UFC. He's got Greg Hardy, who is no longer in the UFC. He's got Ben Rothwell, who's no longer in the UFC, and Maxim Grisham, who I don't believe is in the UFC either. So you go back and you look at the records of these two guys. Yeah, I mean, maybe the Alexander Volkov is going to give the slight edge to Tybura when it comes to a competition comparison, but MMA math sometimes works, sometimes it doesn't. And I think in this case, it's not going to necessarily make sense. I think the way that Romanov has been able to get these wins has been a lot more dominant than Marcin Tybura. And I think Romanov is just a better version of Marcin Tybura. He can do everything he can do. He can add the submission game. He's a little bit heavier. He's stronger. He's got a really good background outside of the UFC. Not that Marcin Tybura isn't great. I think he's not great. I think that he is probably going to fall between the unranked and maybe top 10 in the UFC, and maybe he can push his way to like 8, but I don't see him going much above that. Alexander Romanov, what we've seen to this point, we can see him definitely make it into the top 5. And, just looking at the measurables here, 6'2" to a 6'3", slight reach advantage. Tybura, 78 versus a 75. I think King Kong Romanov is going to be able to go in there and get this one done. If he's able to take down Tybura, which I think he will be able to, he's going to be able to ground and pound him. He has that added submission ability as well. So I feel pretty confident going with Alexandr Romanov, making this on our main card the second super lock of the day.
Nice, nice. I'm glad we're both in concurrence with the Romanov pick there. I'm starting to become a fan of his too. He's he can be a little bit exciting from time to time, and I look forward to seeing just how far he can go after this win over Tybura this weekend.